helping them out because as we
them clearly NorCal Crew wanting to hit familiar orange and white blade now with that little green stripe in there. Not unfamiliar to us at this point.
And again, we have some, we leading this pack here is going to be our lane 2. Our lane 2, that's going to be your Newport Aquatic Center. Then outside of that lane is going to be Cathedral Catholic High School. So it looks like maybe that those duels are helping them out because as we.
And them clearly NorCal Crew wanting to hitch themselves to Newport Aquatic Center. They don't want to let them go. There's something to be said for catching almost on the draft of a fast crew. And if you can glue yourself, even if it's by, bow to stern overlapping, if you can just stick to that to almost get pulled along through the race, it's better than being the lead of the rear pack. It's almost better to be the back of the front pack to get pulled along into that position. And, if you're looking at this race, I got to imagine that's what NorCal Crew's thinking right now as Newport Aquatic Center is taking off. NorCal Crew's sitting there going, all right, let's stick with them. Let's run this out and see where it can take us.
And yeah, I made a mistake earlier. So that boat that I was actually referring to is not Cathedral Catholic High School. It's going to be St. Ignatius College Prep in that lane 5. That's kind of leading that second pack right now as lanes 1 and 2, NorCal Crew, Newport Aquatic Center pull away and have like a race of their own. We also now have, it's almost like 2 races are starting to unfold in front of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's important in a race like this where 4 do move on to the Grand, right? Because those 2 that take off the front, they just know that they're wrapping up being able to move to the Grand.
Correct.
But within that second pack, there's still a race to be had. And you can't let go of that either because now hey, 2 more spots are still going to move on. We got to battle it out back here. And so even if you have, say a St. Ignatius College Prep that's starting to take the lead there, starting to pull away from that second group, that still leaves 1 spot to be fought for between Cathedral Catholic, Oakland Strokes, Capital Crew in that rear group.
Exactly, and so again, we're seeing right here with well open water between the top crews. Again, NorCal Crew and Newport Aquatic Center, and we have a good pan here. It'll be pretty cool to see if we can see straight up the course to kind of see where these crews are positioned.
And we're definitely seeing, I mentioned earlier, a little bit more calm water. If you're looking out at the flags aren't whipping quite as hard as they were. You're not seeing the water capping quite as much. So while there is wind, I would say, thankfully, these athletes can appreciate a little bit more calm conditions than we were seeing maybe around the 11 o'clock hour.
Absolutely.
Right now, they're able to enjoy a little bit more calm water. Now, don't get me wrong, that wind is always going to hit when they cross through those bridges, but it's not going to be giving them that same kind of wake level that was necessarily. And we're definitely seeing, I mentioned earlier, a little bit more calm water. If you're looking out at the flags aren't whipping quite as hard as they were. You're not seeing the water capping quite as much. So while there is wind, I would say, thankfully, these athletes can appreciate a little bit more calm conditions than we were seeing maybe around the 11 o'clock hour.
Absolutely.
Right now, they're able to enjoy a little bit more calm water. Now, don't get me wrong, that wind is always going to hit when they cross through those bridges, but it's not going to be giving them that same kind of wake level that was necessarily there before.
Right. Kyle Cruz still
attached to them. Yeah, absolutely. This has been great because neither one of them has moved away. They are both comfortably locked in together, and I have not seen a shift. You got to wonder, are they both just comfortable with where they are? With NorCal Crew kind of giving that one position to Newport and saying, you got it, just don't leave us behind,
right,
and we're going to push you as well. And these 2 crews sitting here. Now, I have to imagine we're still going to see a sprint out of both when we get to the finish line, because if we're talking about lane seatings, you're always going to want to go to that lane 1 just for the point of pride of it, right? Especially when you're going to do everything in your power to try and get 1 through 3 if you can.
And honestly, if you don't know, youth athletes, they get spicy.
Yeah.
Like youth national championships, I've seen the trash talk. I've seen things that, so like regardless if it's a heat or a final, the trash will be talked. And so especially with the California teams, I've noticed that. And so right now, NorCal Crew, Newport Aquatics, and I'm sure they know each other.
Yeah.
Like there's some folks in there, and I'm sure they'll talk, behind social media, behind closed doors, whatever it may be. But I love it because it adds to the character of racing.
100%. 100%. Sometimes you need some fire to get things exciting.
Yep.
You know, it can't just all be gentlemanly conduct. Yeah. Sometimes it needs to be gentlemanly warfare.
Yeah, exactly. And so right now, it looks like Newport Aquatic Center is going to be leading this into our finish here. They're going to secure their spot. And as you said, yeah, they did pick up the rate just a bit to secure their first place spot and to secure their ticket in the grand final. And that's going to be followed by NorCal Crew hot on their heels to secure that second spot, which means there are only 2 more spots.
And cap